Rooting Your Identity in Christ, Episode 7. Welcome to Strength Exchange, the podcast where we trade the heavy for the holy. I'm your host, Janita, and I'm so glad you're here. If you've been following along, you know we've been talking about trading the heavy for the holy. Letting go of perfectionism, self-reliance, and the pressure to have it all together, and instead embracing the grace and strength that only God provides. Today we're going to the root of it all, our identity. Where is your identity rooted? Have you ever ended a day feeling like you didn't do enough? Like if you had just been more productive or more patient or more organized, you'd finally feel like you've measured up. I think many of us have been there. We live in a world that constantly asks us, "What do you do?" or "What have you accomplished?" It's easy to begin measuring our worth by our productivity, our success, or how well we manage all the roles we carry. As a professional photographer and a homeschooling mom, I felt that pressure deeply. For a long time, I've believed my value depended on delivering the perfect gallery, keeping up with my business, or managing our home well. But every time I based my identity on my performance, I found myself exhausted. Because when business slowed down, when life became overwhelming, or when I simply felt like I hadn't done enough, I questioned my worth. Friend, that's a heavy burden to carry, and it's never the burden God intended for us. In Galatians 2 verse 20, Paul writes, "I've been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me." That verse reminds us that our identity isn't built on what we do, it's built on who Jesus is. Your identity isn't your job title, it isn't your appearance, it isn't your achievements. It isn't even your role as a wife, a mother, a friend, or a business owner. Those are things you do. They are not who you are. If you belong to Christ, you are His. You are chosen. You are redeemed. You are deeply loved. And your identity is secure in Christ. When we root ourselves in Him, we stop striving to earn our worth because we realize it's already been given to us through Jesus. So what does that look like in everyday life? I'd love to encourage you to choose one simple anchor this week. Maybe it's a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that says, "I am His." Or maybe it's a short prayer you whisper whenever you feel overwhelmed. "Lord, I'm not what I do. I am who you say I am." This is what I call the weakness audit. Whenever anxiety rises or perfectionism starts creeping in, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I finding my identity in my own strength or in Christ? Then simply surrender it back to Him. Rooting yourself in Christ isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily choice, a daily surrender, a daily reminder that your worth isn't something you achieve. It's something you've already received through God's love and grace. Before we finish today, I'd love to hear from you. What's one word that reminds you of who you are in Christ? Share it with me in a message or leave a comment. Let's encourage one another and keep pointing each other back to God's truth. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Sister, if you hear nothing else today, hear this. You are not what you achieve. You are not your failures. You are not your title. You are not your productivity. You are His. And when your identity is rooted in Christ, no success can define you. No failure can diminish the worth God has already placed on your life. Your value was never something you had to earn. It was settled at the cross. You are chosen. You are redeemed. You are deeply loved and secure in Him. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode encouraged you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs this reminder. Until next time, keep rooting your identity in Christ, and let's keep trading the heavy for the holy. God bless.